Did you stick around for Torey yesterday at the Diamondbacks game?
No, I was at the game with my friends. After the game was over, we left.
Okay.
So 4-run, 8th inning, bullpen blew it. Gallen pitched a great game. And I talked to Torey before the game for a little bit. But
At the beginning of that cut, what he did was he took off his hat to show everybody how much hair he's lost. And when he was asked about the roller coaster nature of this season.
You look at me. How do you think it takes its toll on me?
male pattern baldness.
Well, it's a stressful job.
Occupational hazard.
Because this time a week ago, they had dropped 3 or 4 to the Colorado Rockies. And I mean, look, that very, very, very likely sealed up their season, right? I mean, you just can't lose 3 or 4 to a team that bad.
And yet they come back and they win the next 2 series.
And yet they come back and they win the next 2 series. And in particular, being on the doorstep of a sweep of Cincinnati. Now, how they swept Cincinnati, I think it fuels a lot more dreams in terms of what they could do. That was the team that is directly in front of them now in the National League wildcard chase. But just taking 4 out of those 6 games and winning both of those series against the Guardians and the Reds, Gambo, they just keep hanging around.
Can't catch the Cubs, can't catch the Padres. So it's the Mets. The Reds are chasing the Mets. They're a game and a half out. Then the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks, they're tied with the Cardinals. They passed the Giants. So there's only 2 teams ahead of them. They've got to pass both. They got to pass the Reds, and they got to pass the Mets. So that's what it really comes down to. Now, the Mets have been shaky for a while. The Mets have been shaky. They did bounce back a little bit and, won 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. But they've got the Phillies coming up. Then they've got the Marlins, who, by the way, have played good baseball. Then they've got Detroit. And then here's the kicker. Then the Mets play Cincinnati. So somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. So there are 3 games where the Mets play Cincinnati. Then the Mets have a 4-game homestand against Philly. So the Mets have 7 games against Philly, 3 against Detroit, and 3 against Cincinnati in their next 5 series. So, there could be a little bit of hope there. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but there could be a little bit of hope as a Diamondback fan. But you've got to win. You've got to keep winning.
Strength of schedule for your remaining schedule. How tough is the schedule for everybody?
Okay, what's the Mets?
The Mets are number 4.
Yeah, I knew it.
The combined strength of schedule for the Mets the rest of the way is 527. That is the 4th toughest in baseball. Numero uno on the list.
The Dbacks are number 1.
Arizona Diamondbacks are number 1.
Oh, I did not know that.
I just looked it up just now. I would have put it in my email, but I didn't realize it either. They've got a 538 strength of schedule remaining in terms of the combined winning percentage of who they're going to play. That is the toughest in Major League Baseball. So it's good news. Hey, Cincinnati, they've got the 2nd toughest remaining schedule. So the 2 teams the Diamondbacks have to catch are 2 and 4 on this list. But the Arizona Diamondbacks are number 1 on this, which is why, and again, I'll keep saying this, had they swept Cincinnati yesterday, and I know it just would have made a game's difference in the standings, boy, it would have really felt like they were pushing towards something. And they still are, but it's muted a little bit. Now, this week is huge. They got 4 against Milwaukee. That's the best team in baseball. They got 3 against the LA Dodgers. We know how good they've been, although, it's been a little bit of a scuffle for them lately. It's going to be a tough week for them for sure, but they continue to kind of hang around, and we'll see. The other thing that happened this weekend and happened yesterday was the work from Zac Gallen. Here's Zac after the game.
Lose 2 tough ones, maybe 3 tough ones in Colorado. That I think, any team that kind of is where we were at from a post-deadline standpoint might just kind of shut it down and just be like, it is what it is. No one expects us to be here. But I think that's just kind of the culture, kind of the makeup of the guys in here. It's like, hey, we're gonna play this thing to the end and see what happens. So I think that's kind of what you saw from the last 6 games, whenever we played this week. And I think that's what you're going to see for the next 30 plus that we have left. That we're going to keep swinging. Just see what happens until they tell us we're eliminated, or if we're getting a playoff berth.
6 of his last 7 starts, he's gone 6 innings. Mm-hmm. Now you take out the last 2 in July because he gave up 10 runs in those 2 games, 6 against Houston, 4 against Pittsburgh. He's having a strong August. He's got a 3.10 ERA in August, 3.10. They've won 3 out of the 5 decisions. Yesterday he pitched a great game. He only walked 1 guy. He didn't give up any home runs. The only run they scored,
the Little League home run.
The only run they scored was a triple and a throwing error that allowed the runner to score. That was it. Zac Gallen was outstanding yesterday. There was no run support, and the bullpen sucked. But this month alone, he's pitched 29 innings. He's got 20 strikeouts. He's only walked 6, so the walks are down. And, he did give up the 2 home runs to Cleveland, but overall, it's been a good month. You're seeing Zac Gallen battle back a little bit. It's good to see.
Yeah, and like a lot of Diamondback fans, it has us wondering. At least it has me wondering. What does it mean? What does it mean for Zac Gallen's future? What does it mean for their? Because we talked about this a little bit, I think last week after his Guardians start. The better he pitches, the more likely it is he finds a contract more than what he'd make here on a 1-year qualifying offer. Yeah. The worse he pitches, the more likely this is very basic. There's a lot of factors that go into this.
I think it's basic.
But I think the basic nuts and bolts of it, the worse he pitches, the more likely he would be to accept a 1-year qualifying offer to rebuild value for next year. So in a way, if you want Zac Gallen to be here next year, him pitching well doesn't really help the cause.
But I don't even think there's a middle ground. I mean, if somebody says, I'll give you 2 years at, I'm not going to want a 2-year. Now, somebody could get creative like Montgomery. I'll give you a 2-year deal, and 1 year's for $25 million, and the second year, you've got an option. Player option. Mm-hmm. You could pick it up for 25, or you could be a free agent. You could get creative there. I pitch great, I'm a free agent. I pitch poorly, I got 50. I thought Jordan Montgomery did. He got $50 million to do nothing.
Yeah, he did. And Zac Gallen, and again, these are things I'd be shocked if we didn't have a conversation with Zac at some point between the end of the season. We do tend to have him on a lot. I'll be really curious to see where his priorities lie, and if the money's close, does he just want to stay? If this is the version of Zac Gallen, like if it took us half the season to get here, but if this is the version that Zac Gallen's going to be, who wouldn't want this back on their roster next year to anchor that rotation, right? To be in the middle of it.
And the question we don't know is there a team looking and saying, okay, look at Zac Gallen. He's had 5 starts in August. They've all been really good. That's the guy. Okay, let's give him a 3-year deal. Yeah. I don't know that anybody does because overall it's been a bad year, but he is finishing strong right now.
I think, this is just my guess, all right? I think the idea of Zac Gallen getting a break-the-bank free agency contract, I believe that ship has sailed. I wouldn't think he would. Too. I wouldn't think he would get that. I think it would just be a question of, assuming the Diamondbacks want him back, would I be better off signing a 1-year deal here on the qualifying offer, or would I be better off getting a 2 or 3 year deal somewhere else where I'm not cashing in, but I'm giving myself more financial security than I am setting myself up for having to pitch again great next year for the I don't know. I mean, I think the idea of him getting a 5-year deal, a 6-year deal worth big time,
it's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
No,
it's not going to happen. It's either a 1 year. Well, it wasn't going to. It was going to happen at the beginning of the season. Yeah. By the All-Star break, it was never going to happen.
Either a 1-year deal or somebody signs him to a 2-year deal, but the second year is a player option.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
This is Torey Lovullo. He was talking about the tough series coming up.
It'll be a great series, great baseball games, great teams. I want to focus on our dugout and take care of our business. That's what we've been doing lately. We've been playing good baseball. So, we're not flying across country to get our butts kicked. We're going across country to play some baseball. I'm looking forward to that.
Love it. When guys are about to curse and they decide not to, he was gonna say something else, right? Like he was just gearing up to say something else, and he decided to back it off. He probably his mom's voice in his head was probably saying, "Torey, you curse too much. Don't use that word. You're going to use it. Don't use it." He's like, all right, fine, Mom.
The Diamondbacks came into this year with a payroll of $190 million, right? Mm-hmm. Highest ever. This team right now, if you added it all up, their payroll is like $90 million. It's like $90 million.
Yeah.
It's $100 million gone.
Makes sense.
It's just gone. Between trades and injuries, there's $100 million gone. Torey Lovullo's got a $90 million payroll. Here's another thing. I think 18 of the players on the roster are close to minimum guys.
Does he manage better when he's got a lower payroll roster?
He does manage better with a younger team, I think.
Because it's more teaching. It's more. Is his style better suited for a younger team like that than? And we were not planning on talking about this. It's just where my brain went. Is his style of managing better suited for a team built like the one the Diamondbacks currently have, as opposed to the one they started the season with, where they were breaking a record for payroll for a franchise.
There's a belief that he does better with with younger team. With a younger team.
Because it certainly seems like they've responded since the trade deadline, and some of that
That's
salary
what saved his
has been
job
shed.
3 years ago, was all the young kids came up and he coached them all so well.
Yeah.
It saved his job. They were going to fire him.
No doubt.
And he came in, young kids came in, he rejuvenated them. But you're talking about a team right now that's got 18 players that are right around that minimum mark in a contract. So they're playing. I'm saying that, but they're not the Pirates, but they got a lot of guys on minimum contract.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.